my dialysis experiences. So I've been on dialysis 3 times in my life. Once when I was 11, once when I was 20, and then now. So I've had different experiences each time. When I was 11, I was on PD. For a majority of the time I was on dialysis, I did have to go on hemo for a month before my transplant because my PD catheter got infected. But back then, you had to be on that machine for 12 hours a day. And I was really young, so I really didn't understand what was going on. I just know I had to be on this machine 12 hours every night. And we would do it from like 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. so that I'll be able to go to school in the morning. And honestly, like I said, I was too young to really understand or like really adapt too much to what was going on. I just knew, like I said, this was something I had to do. I learned the machine, I learned how to clean the catheter, everything like that. Like I learned everything about it, even though I was real young. And I was still getting into fights. Even with the catheter in my stomach, Lord, I was a wild child, okay? I was wild. And when I went to hemodialysis, I was doing it in center at Tampa General. So my mom, she would have to drive me every morning from Winter Haven to Tampa. So it's like a 45-minute drive just to drop me off to have dialysis for 3.5 hours there. Then she would come pick me up, and that was every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So like I said, I didn't really understand. I used to go there, know I was going to eat breakfast and watch Looney Tunes and sleep pretty much. So, you know, like I said, I didn't really understand, but I just knew it was something that I had to do. And then I also had the Make-A-Wish Foundation grant me a wish that year. For my 12th birthday, I went on a shopping spree, which was really neat. So when I was 20, when I lost my mom's kidney and I was on dialysis, I didn't have too much of a bad experience. I had a whole lot of energy still then. I didn't have any like big, huge changes. I used to eat whatever. I used to still do things that I wanted to do. I learned how to cannulate myself so I could do home hemodialysis. And my mom and my aunt went to the training with me, but see, they were shaking. And I'm like, they're not gonna stick me shaking. So I learned how to cannulate myself, and I used to do the machine at night 5 days a week and then go to work. So I really had a fulfilled life back then. Not too much affected me when I was on hemodialysis then, but one day my blood did turn black while I was on the machine, and I had to go to in-center for the rest of the time until I got a transplant again. Now the experiences that I'm having now is totally different than when I was 20. Now like my face got darker, my skin be peeling sometimes, my diet is up and down, my feelings, how I feel throughout the day, be up and down. So it's definitely affecting me a lot more now than it did when I was 20. But I've learned to adapt to it, to you know, get myself to a better headspace than I was when I first started, when I was telling y'all in my other video how I was going through so much. Because when I was 20, I went through like 5 surgeries back to back within 2 months. And I still didn't let that faze me like it did last year. So definitely was a different experience. But I'm doing so much better now, which I'm happy about. So that's been my experiences with, you know, my 3 times that I've been on dialysis. Also, I was going to do PD, which I told you guys about that, like, I think about 2 months ago. But I decided not to. I decided to stay in center because it'll be a little bit easier for me. Going there and getting things done, and you know, everything that I'm doing at home. I don't go to work. I am on disability because it was hard for me to get the energy to go to work. Dialysis takes so much out of me this time around, so it's hard for me to work, but it's okay. I have a lot going on, you know, a lot of things coming for me in the future, which I'm very excited about, with my books, with my nonprofit, and just other things that I'm working on as well. But those were how my dialysis experiences went.